Hello everyone, today I will be reading Field Trips Always End Terribly, written by Itslivybear on AO3. Summary. Field trips have never been great for Midoriya Izuku, but when the trip to the USJ takes a turn for the worst, it probably takes the cake for the worst field trip he's ever been on. Which is saying something. He got left behind once when he was 6, and that was a nightmare and a half. He has to navigate the League of Villains and get out with all his limbs, keeping Shigaraki Tomura from getting mad, and if he's careful, he might swing a quirk out of it. Aizawa Shouta, meanwhile, is at a loss as to how to get his kid back. His quirkless student has a lot of knives and a lot of heart, but they have no lead as to where the League could have taken him, and as soon as some heroes hear quirkless, they write him off. This fic has no archive warning tags and not any trigger warnings right off the bat, but if there are any, um, you will be warned as the chapters progressed. Do keep in mind that this still has a good amount of angst in it, obviously, so. And he does get kidnapped, so. Anyways, Chapter 1. Please, God, let me have one good day. School field trips were supposed to be fun. Granted, Izuku had never really enjoyed field trips in the past because no one wanted to sit with him on the bus. People tried to get him lost and left behind, and no one else really seemed to care about the education aspect. To him, history was cool. But UA was supposed to be different. Already, of course, it had been. People sat with him on the bus. Ida made sure everyone was on the bus and no one was left behind. His mind thought of a reference to a pre-quirk movie and he smiled softly. And everyone was genuinely excited for what they were going to learn on this trip. But of course, then everything went wrong because Izuku is never allowed to have a good field trip. The lights flickered, a purple swirl of gas appeared near the fountain. Villains came out of the woodworks. Jordan got horribly injured, and everyone got scattered to the various zones of the USJ. He, Tsu, and Mineta managed to get out just in time to see their teacher lose skin on his elbow to a hand villain. Without thinking, he shot forward. Well, well, well. One of the hero brats wants to protect their teacher, huh? How sweet! Izuku whipped out a knife, mouth set in a grim lion, stance ready. No one would hurt Aizawa. Tomura was having a pretty good day, all things considered. Today was the day he would do Sensei proud and finally kill that damn All Might. He had a lot of NPCs to distract the hero brats, and Sensei had even gifted him a Nomu, which was sure to stomp on anything that could stand in his way. Eraserhead was really cool, so it was a shame he'd have to kill him. He timed his quirk, noticing it dwindle, and disintegrated the hero's elbow. Eraser was cool, but hopefully this would take him out of the fight, so Tomura didn't have to kill him. And then a small green brat popped out of nowhere. He taunted the boy, eyeing the knife. Didn't seem very heroic to have a knife, but maybe he had a minor quirk. He saw Eraser's eyes widen out of the corner of his own, and the downed hero let out a gurgled, "No!" But the Nomu had a solid grip on him, and he could do nothing but watch. Maybe if he killed his brat, the hero would really give up. Maybe if I kill a kid, All Might will show up. The kid in question merely swallowed, still gripping his knife before he lunged forward. A shame, really. Tomura was fast, intentionally so, and went to grab the kid's arm, not going for the face yet. He wanted this to last. This was so boring. The main boss wasn't even here, and he felt super overleveled for this mission. Might as well have some fun while he was here. But to his surprise, the brat dodged. Huh? You must have high dex stats. The mother went unacknowledged, but the kid lunged again, hoping to do some damage. The song and dance continued, the green brat managing to dodge every outstretched hand before Tomura had really had enough. Really, the rogue, for that had to be his class, with such a high dex stat in the knife, would have been a decent addition to his party if he hadn't chosen the wrong side. Oh well, time to end this. Tomura darted forward, clenching his hand around the brat's finger. Okay, no, that was the knife. It didn't manage to cut him before crumbling into dust, and he watched with satisfaction as the kid's eyes widened. Good, he had the fear condition. That would make him sloppy. What are you gonna do without your weapon, brat? The kid didn't say a word, but pulled out another knife. Tomura paused for a moment, brow furrowed. But he shook it off, sure. Having more than one knife was pretty normal for a rogue. He'd just decade at one too. So he did. After another round of lunging, the second knife was gone. And then the kid pulled out a third knife. By the fifth knife, Tomura was mad. Where the hell did this kid keep getting knives? It wasn't like he had noticeable sheaths on him, or even pockets, so where the hell was he hiding all these knives? By the ninth knife, he voiced his frustration out loud. What the fuck? Is your quirk just summoning knives? Where the hell do you keep getting knives? The brat that he was, he didn't answer. Ugh, I was wrong. You aren't an NPC at all, despite not having any dialogue. You're like a mini-boss with your infinite knives. He scratched his neck, irritation peaking. Part of him wanted to kill the brat, but the other part of him... Nomu, grab the brat! Eraser shouted as the beast left him, grabbing at the green rogue and making his ribs crack with the strength of his grip, and the brat had the audacity to struggle after all the shit he'd put Tomura through. He stalked up to the boy who stilled as he got close. You're kind of annoying, but you have an interesting set of stats, rogue. I think I'm going to take you home and see what Sensei says. Maybe there's a quest that will make you an available party member. Finally, the brat seemed to have some dialogue. What? Party member? You're not going to kill me? He snorted. I mean, I could if you really wanted me to, but this ride has almost been fun, so no, I don't think I will. His eyes slid over to the underground hero who was trying to pick himself up the ground, desperation in his eyes. Plus, I think Eraserhead would be pretty upset if we took you. The rogue's eyes widened, and he looked at his beaten-up teacher, breathing out his name, too quiet for Tomura to hear. He looked back at his jailer with fear written all over his face. Good. Threats to others seemed to be what got him afraid. No, you can't. I wouldn't be useful to you anyway, even if I was able to join your party. He cocked his head, intrigued. And why is that? Your infinite knives and high deck seem like enough for to me. He cut himself off, at war with himself as to whether he wanted to say it. Another glance at Eraserhead got rid of any qualms he had. I'm quirkless. Huh. Now that was interesting. Quirkless? Then how the hell did you keep producing knives out of nowhere? Whatever, that just makes you cooler. Plus, Sensei can give you a quirk if you really want one. You could be an even better rogue than you are. All you have to do is ditch the hero's side. They're gonna lose anyway. Whatever reply the kid was going to have was cut off by the boom of All Might busting into the dome. Tomura grinned behind the father. Looks like we get to continue after all. Kurokiri, send the brat back. I think he'd be a fun party member. The yelp of the brat was cut off as he was portaled back to the bar. Eraserhead cried out in anguish. Yeah, that was a life. Nomu, kill All Might. He stretched, thinking to the brat back in the bar. It would be fun to break him and make him the perfect party member. All he had to do was win here, and Sensei would be so proud. And Eraserhead didn't even have to tie. Izuku looked around the bar, heart racing and chest in a good deal of pain. Man, he hated field trips. Alright, so that was chapter 1 of Field Trips Always End Terribly by Itslivybear. So, the work is linked somewhere, whatever platform we're on. So I do recommend to go leave kudos, give them lots of love, comment, bookmark it. It's an amazing fic, and I do recommend reading it as its original format. Anyways, I hope you have a good night.